This is topic 6.2, so wonder if we no longer have special right triangles and the angles are something other than 45 degrees or 30 and 60. So
No.
You can use trig functions or trigonometric functions, which is sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So this also should be a review from geometry. So the first thing that we need to know is we need to know how to correctly identify the different sides of my right triangle. So opposite, or I call OPP, is across from the given angle. So if this is my given angle right here, the side that's opposite is this side, so that's my opposite side. Okay? My hypotenuse is across from the 90-degree angle. Here's my 90-degree angle. The side that is opposite or across is the hypotenuse. And then the side that is left is my adjacent side. So I always find the opposite and the hypotenuse first, and then the side that's left is my adjacent. Okay? So that's the first thing that I'm going to do. So here's my given angle. I'm going to go to the side that's across from it, and this is my opposite side. My hypotenuse, here's my 90-degree angle. The side that is across from the 90-degree angle is my hypotenuse. And then the side that's left is my adjacent. Okay? So the first thing is my sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is 8, hypotenuse is 17. So that's 8 over 17. Okay? Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is 15, hypotenuse is 17. So that's 15 over 17. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 8, adjacent is 15. So that's 8 over 15. Okay, so to do the last three, you can either memorize the formulas or you could just know that sine is the opposite of cosecant, and cosecant is CSE. So if sine is 8 over 17, then the opposite is 17 over 8. Or you can know that the cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. Hypotenuse is 17, opposite is 8. Secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. Hypotenuse is 17, adjacent is 15, so that's 17 over 15, or that's the opposite of cosine, and then cotangent is adjacent over opposite, adjacent is 15 over 8. Okay, and that's all you're going to do for the first 4 practice problems. Okay, so correctly identify opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent, and then start filling in the rest. Okay, so the second thing that we're going to figure out is how to use one trigonometric value to find the others. So if we know the cosine of theta is 2 over 5, we're going to find the exact values of the other 5 trig functions. So our step 1 is to draw a right triangle. And we're going to label one of these, we're going to label this right triangle. One of my angles is going to be theta. Okay, so based on that, I'm going to label my opposite, my hypotenuse, and my adjacent sides. Okay, then I know that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. I should probably make sure that my notes are actually correct before I teach it, but let's delete that and let's put is 2 over 5. So that means my adjacent side is 2. And my hypotenuse is 5. So, since my triangle is right, I may use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side or my opposite side. So I know that the hypotenuse is my longest side, and that's going to be my c value. So that's 5 squared equals a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And I also know that it doesn't matter a or b is going to be, one of my sides is 2. So that's 2 squared, which is 4, plus b squared equals 5 squared, which is 25. So b squared is 25 minus 4 is 21. Take the square root, so that's square root of 21. So my opposite side is 21. So this opposite side is the square root of 21. Okay? We know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's the square root of 21 over 5. We already know that cosine is 2 over 5. And we know that tangent is opposite over adjacent, so that's square root of 21 over 2. Now I'm going to do the opposite. Cosecant is the opposite of sine, so that's 5 over square root of 21. We can't leave the square root at the bottom, so I'm just going to multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 21. So that's 5 over 25 times square root of 21 over 21. Okay. Secant is the opposite of cosine, so that's 5 over 2. And then tangent is the opposite of cotangent, so that's 2 over square root 21. Same thing, we can't leave the square root at the bottom, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 21. So that's 2 times the square root of 21 all over 21. Okay? And that's basically all you're going to do for that question, for those practice questions.